Let's see what we got here. Zuck could be forced to sell Instagram.
Antitrust trial could force Zuckerberg to sell Landmark antitrust trial could force Zuckerberg to sell Instagram. A trial in the landmark antitrust case against social media giant Meta kicks off in Washington on Monday. The US competitor and consumer watchdog alleges that Meta, which already owned Facebook, bought Instagram in 2012 and WhatsApp in 2014 to eliminate competition, effectively giving itself a monopoly. The FTC reviewed and approved those acquisitions but committed to monitor the outcomes. If the Federal Trade Commission wins the case, it could force Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg to sell off both Instagram and WhatsApp. Oh, it basically is a case of, but what if it gets sold to someone that's just going to use your data? Yeah, because Zuck doesn't already do that. Meta previously said it was sure it would win, and experts have told the BBC it is likely to argue that Instagram users have had a better experience since it was taken over. The FTC's argument is the acquisition of Instagram was a way of neutralising this rising competitive threat to Facebook, says Rebecca Hott-Allensworth, a professor of antitrust at Vanderbilt Law School. Miss Allensworth says Mr. Zuckerberg's own words, including those from his emails, may offer the most convincing evidence at trial. He said it's better to buy than to compete. It's hard to get more literal than that, Miss Allensworth says. Meta, on the other hand, is likely to argue that intent is not particularly relevant in an antitrust case. They're going to say the real question is, are consumers better off as a result of this merger, she said. They'll put on a lot of evidence that Instagram became what it is today because it benefited from being owned by Facebook. I'm actually only just recently on Instagram.
Antitrust is monopoly stuff.
Mr. Zuckerberg and the company's former chief operating officer, Sheryl Sandberg, are both expected to testify at the trial, which could run for several weeks. Shifting politics. The case FTC versus Meta was filed during US President Donald Trump's first administration.
Basically, they're trying to have Zuckerberg sell off some of his assets.
Mr. Zuckerberg has lobbied Trump
because they think he's getting too
FTC
fat.
drop the case, according to the Wall Street Journal, because you probably saw Zuck's appearance on Joe Rogan, where he's like, no, I'm totally a good guy now.
The fact that he went on Joe Rogan and said all that shit is
like the Hunter Biden. I
don't think the government likes
vaccines and COVID stuff, and but I was like totally on your side the whole time. He's trying to pull a Jack. But after Jack sold Twitter, no, guys, I promise I was cool the entire time. Shut up. When asked by the BBC to confirm that report, Meta sidestepped the question but said in a statement that FTC's lawsuits against Meta defies reality. More than 10 years after the FTC reviewed and cleared our acquisitions, the Commission's action in this case sends the message that no deal
the government always tries to exert its power over these
told
companies.
The relations between Mr. Zuckerberg and
I
Trump
mean, they
had
did
been
it with
frosty, partly because Trump was barred from Meta's social media platform
Twitter before
the US Capitol riot
Elon
in
Musk
January
took
of
over it,
2021.
right? They
Since then,
up Twitter.
the relationship has thawed somewhat. Because Zuck's like, oh no, Trump's back in. Crap. Meta contributed $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund. Look at that. And in January, announced Ultimate Fighting Championship boss Dana White, a close Trump ally, would join its board of directors. The company also announced in January
Facebook
that it was doing away with independent fact checkers. Look at this.
They had their hands on
It's just been
hands
a
in
Facebook,
basically all social media.
We've alienated like 50% of our youth. Well, not really, actually. People from all over the world are on Facebook, so never mind. President Trump's move to fire two FTC commissioners in March also hangs over the case, as Democrats Rebecca Kelly Slaughter and Alvaro Bedoya were in the minority on the 5-seat commission. Now, until Wednesday, just 2 seats of those seats were filled both by Republicans. Another Republican was confirmed by the Senate on Thursday. Slaughter and Bedoya, who are suing the Trump administration to be reinstated, say the move to push them out was meant to intimidate. The president sent a very clear signal not only to us but to Chairman Ferguson and Commissioner Melissa Holyoke that if they do something he doesn't like, he could fire them too, Slaughter told the BBC in a recent interview. So if they don't want to do a favour for his political allies, they're on the chopping block as well, Slaughter said. Welcome to government. That's how it fucking works. Slaughter and Bedoya both expressed alarm at recent reports about Zuckerberg's lobbying efforts. My hope is that there is no political interference, Mr. Bedoya told the BBC. The FTC did not respond to a request for comment from the BBC. Ferguson, who was appointed as FTC chair by Trump, recently told The Verge he would obey lawful orders when asked what he would do if the president directed him to drop a lawsuit like the one against Meta. Ferguson added that he would be very surprised if anything like that ever happened. The FTC is considered a key antitrust watchdog. In recent years, it has returned hundreds of millions
Yeah.
of dollars
Also,
to
I think the
victims of fraud,
FTC
in
is
addition to
a
passing
right.
laws that
It's
ban
a
junk
it's a
fees and
right.
subscription
It's a
traps.
separate
But as the
entity.
Meta trial begins, it's
Right.
among the many
The
independent regulatory
basically the
agencies that the
president has no
administration
bearing
seems
on
keen
this.
to rein in. Chair Ferguson is also recently quoted reaffirming his belief that independent regulatory bodies are not good for democracy because, like any other institution, they can be co-opted by
Yeah, they're
political
basically
ideology.
like the
And you're
Federal
worried about that
Reserve,
happening
right?
now
They
under Trump, but
operate
you
on their
weren't
own
worried about it happening
interests.
before under the Democrats. You see, it's only a problem when it's
I
being
mean, they
used
say
against you.
they
Funny
operate
that.
in the
The
interest of the
FTC's uphill
American
battle.
people,
The
but they don't.
FTC
Let's
versus
be
Meta
real, they
begins
don't.
as another major antitrust case. USA versus
They
Google
barely do.
enters what's known as the remedies phase. The Department of Justice won the first phase of that case last summer when Judge Amit Mehta found that Google holds a monopoly in online search with a market share of around 90%. Last month, the DOJ reiterated a demand made during the Biden administration that a court break up Google's search monopoly. Now,
Yeah,
as for
they try to
search, Google
break
has
up
done a lot of
Google.
fucky-wucky stuff in regards to the searches.
Yeah,
Where have you ever done that where there's a recently developing news story that's obviously very politically charged? If it's anything that benefits the left, then you just get the search results for it. But if it's the
correct.
right, you get that little message at the top that says, "It appears the results for this are changing quickly." Google it, yeah, basically because you wanted to fudge the results to make sure people only saw what you wanted them to see. Yeah, Google's been
Yeah,
caught doing that many
basically.
times in the past. The FTC's case against Meta will be tougher to
Yeah,
prove, says Laura Phillips
it was the
Sawyer, an
same.
associate professor of business law
It was the same thing with trying to find like certain, fucking, uh, because I mean I was using it to fucking look up homework stuff. So sometimes it was whenever you were to look up certain homework stuff, it'd be like, what? This doesn't make what? Over the years, I think Google has done some weird shit
at the University of
pertaining to
Georgia.
like
I think they have a real uphill battle, Miss Phillips
certain
Sawyer
kind
told
of.
the
I don't know.
FTC. They have a
Google
long
Google
road
has
before
always
any
been doing
consideration of
weird shit.
divestiture of Instagram or WhatsApp is considered. That's because, compared to online search, there's more competition in the personal network services space that Meta operates in, Miss Phillips Sawyer said. Meta, in a statement, said the evidence at trial will show that what every 17-year-old in the world knows. Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp compete with Chinese-owned TikTok, YouTube, X, iMessage, and many others. There is a lot of competition out there. I think Twitter's doing very, very good with Facebook. Like,
I mean, not only that, but even the Asian country, right? Japan has their right. I think they have their own like. Not Japan. I'm sorry. Was it Japan? Oh no, it might be like South Korea. That's what it was. It's 'cause you're right. It's South Korea and some of these other countries. I think Japan too, but yeah, they all have their own services in terms of like what they use for social media platforms, right? Some of them have their own like Japanese own made ones, right? So they use those sometimes. So yeah. But yeah, all these companies are basically competing with each other, trying to get
I've got a silly
on there.
Facebook with no one added because it was just to manage the Count Dankula Facebook page, which I don't even touch anymore. Like, nobody uses Facebook, as far as I know. Not a single person I know actually uses it and is
Yeah, I
on
deleted
Facebook.
my
They're all
Facebook
on
account.
X.
I was like, yeah, I
That's
don't
what
use
they're all
this
on
shit
X and they're
anymore.
all on
Delete.
Discord. That's the main ways that we communicate with each other. Like, no one in my social circle at all uses Facebook. So I think it is Boomerville now, essentially. And there we are, that's the end of the article. Now, as far as I'm aware, I don't think Zuck's done anything wrong. There's many other different messaging services that people can use, right? It's just people choose the one that's become the most popular, and it's just a case of companies are getting punished just for their apps being very, very popular. oh, everybody's choosing to use your app. Oh, well, what do you want me to do? Make it terrible? You know, we're a business. We're supposed to attract people from it. Like, no one is being forced to use it. There are many, many other messaging services out there. People just don't
Correct.
use them that much because they're not that
Discord,
good.
stuff like that.
Like, as soon as
Yeah.
someone comes along and makes a better product, people will just jump to the better product. That's what they've always done. Like, remember MySpace? MySpace was king for a
Yeah,
while, and
MySpace,
MySpace
yep.
definitely they had like probably it was seen as like 90% of people were on MySpace. Everybody was on MySpace and everybody was using it. And then Facebook came along and offered a better product, and everybody jumped ship, and MySpace just kind of
Correct.
died. MySpace just died completely.
Mm-hmm.
Bebo was another one that was competing. Fucking hell, remember Bebo? Bebo was another one that was competing with MySpace as well, and it was just that's just the way it is. A better product comes along and everybody jumps to the new product. If you
Yep.
want people to stop using WhatsApp and using Facebook, blah blah blah, Facebook I think it's not doing anywhere near as well as it used to be. It's still Boomerville on there. WhatsApp
still Boomer-
extremely popular.
yeah.
Instagram still extremely popular.
Mm.
Like, just if you want people to come off of those things, then just make a better fucking product.
Yeah, make a better product. Or discontinue this and force people to right, use other products. Bust up monopolies, yes. As usual. Gen Z believes they're victimized by capitalism. Yeehaw. There's a JP react.
Guilt is literally a feature of capitalism, and I believe it's driving most of us to addiction. Guilt is literally a feature of capitalism, and I believe it's driving most of us to addiction.
Gen Zers are blaming capitalism for why they're unhappy and they hate themselves.
Yeah.
Capitalism's bad. When the Berlin Wall fell, who ran to which side? Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my beautiful freedom-loving friend. This is where we call out lies, hypocrisy, corruption, and highlight the amazing work of other freedom fighters
West
because
or the
truth
East?
conquers.
Which
Now,
way?
unfortunately, a lot of young people have had their minds conquered to believe that capitalism is bad. I wonder why they're all trying to usher in communism and socialism, because they live in a place that they have.
I mean, obviously, not all Eastern countries fall into communism.
Wow, communism would be good.
Right, I would
Maybe
put
spend time
Japan
in a
and
communist country. Now, recently I
South
came
Korea,
across some
right,
TikToks
some of
of
those
Gen
countries.
Zers, some of them having breakdowns and legitimately probably needing mental
But,
help. But it
yeah,
was just
they got the
fascinating,
constant threat
probably
of
heartbreaking, to see how they're blaming
communist
capitalism
countries
for
above
their
them and,
problems.
right,
That
they're
probably
bordering.
a lack of self-responsibility is part of the cause of. Probably their minds being brainwashed, them allowing that to happen would probably be a big part of it. But watching them scapegoat capitalism and just imagining, wow, if I was in a third world communist country, I'd be happy. Now, let's take a look at some of these.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's so heinous. It's so heinous to me. Know that this
So
is a
heinous.
systemic failure. This is a failure of our societal
Super
and economic
failure
model.
of
This is
society.
a failure of our government. Because it's never the rich white people
Feminist
talking
power.
like this.
Well, if you pay attention to Hollywood, it is. Does our system here in America have problems? That's an
Sure.
understatement. But probably what this person doesn't know is whatever sort of system you live in, you have the freedom to feel bad or feel good. In short,
Well, at least in the most of the Western society, you can either feel good or feel bad. In the other societies, you can't feel good or feel bad. You only get one. Only get one option.
of a system of total enslavement where
Yeah.
you have zero
You're
autonomy over your mind and
enslaved.
body, you're gonna feel
Work
how you
in the
feel.
mines,
You're in a
peasant.
relationship with yourself, regardless of what system you're in. But as long as a Gen Zer like this doesn't understand that, they'll always be keeping
Garbage.
themselves in a position as
Go
a
to the
victim. I'm a victim of
mines.
capitalism. Is that why you can't stand yourself? Yep, I can't stand myself because of capitalism. Now, if you put this person in socialist country, will they change how they feel? Probably they'll feel worse. They
Yeah,
definitely
that
won't
might
feel
feel
happy.
worse.
It's that person,
Right, if
and their
you actually
relationship with
right, all these people that are spouting whatever weird ideology here in the fucking Western civilizations, right? If you were to put them in one of the fucking communist, right, Eastern countries, oh boy, they're gonna have a bad. They would not be able to survive.
With themselves and they have control. Let's hear from a few therapists that will blame all of your problems on capitalism. Now these are licensed
yes,
therapists.
capitalism.
Do you feel horrible? That's capitalism, baby.
blame.
It's not. It's
Blame
not me living out of
Canada.
alignment with
Blame
my values,
Canada.
being trapped in a coffin of my comfort zone because I'm not courageous to go outside of it where actually fulfillment lies. No. It's capitalism.
Is your self-worth based on who you are or what you do?
If you value yourself based on the value that you create for other people, doing good for other people, yeah. If you value yourself based on that at all, that's just capitalism. That's not good. It's not good. So I don't have motivation to create value for other people. Therefore, I don't create value for other people.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no.
Now I'm making the world a better place
Correct.
by not being motivated to make it a better place.
Do you feel good when you do something fun, or do you
Wait,
feel guilty if you feel...
wait, first of all, why should I create value for someone else who doesn't create value? Why do I have to be the mule? Fuck that. You can slave away yourself.
feel guilt for not being productive enough, you can blame that on capitalism. What's more important, your mental and physical health or getting your work done? If it's work, it's capitalism. If you equate rest with laziness and you believe that you have to earn your downtime, capitalism.
Right or wrong, I absolutely believe that.
Everything's capitalism. You have to sleep, capitalism.
Is that
you have to earn money,
some kind
capitalism.
Of schizophrenic episode
you have to suck someone's dick, capitalism.
Maybe. Is it motivation? Well, it's definitely that. I like to feel motivated. I feel genuinely happy and fulfilled when I feel motivated. Okay.
Do you rank your activities by how valuable they are? Like, is it better to play video games or start a podcast?
Yeah, I absolutely rank my activities.
No, I don't rank
don't
my
play
activities.
video
What?
games. I see no value in that.
What? That sounds stupid.
Yeah.
If the more restful activities keep losing out, capitalism. What's more getting all
if
your
you
work
do
done
it,
for
capitalism.
The week or hanging out with friends?
Getting my work done for the week, that way it's done, so I can hang out with my friends without worrying about my work.
Work?
Right.
Capitalism.
Yeah,
work?
I do have a capitalist mindset. Yeah, and I'm so grateful I do.
You constantly thinking of your personal brand like me? That's weird, and that's capitalism.
I could give him some tips on his
Okay,
personal
so he's a
brand.
hypocrite. I'm confused. Where he's going?
Capitalism has you burnt out and you're able to
Everything's
rest.
capitalism,
Go
by the way.
rest and rest longer than you think you should rest.
Now, all of his sentiments aren't complete garbage in my mind. Like, can someone burn themselves out by being overly capitalistic? Absolutely.
True.
It happens to me plenty.
Yes.
Do people need rest? Yeah. But I think there's this glorification in his message, glorifying
Capitalism
not
is
working
your
hard. By the way,
lifeblood.
capitalism, is that at fault? Or is it how we relate to capitalism that's at fault if we get burnt out? Do you think if you were in communist China working in a sweatshop, you might feel burnt out? There's no capitalism in sight. I feel burnt out
don't
with
say
work,
that.
so much so they put nets under all the windows because people jump out. That's not capitalism.
Oh no, he
That's
knows
maybe a
about
feeling of
the
burnout or
he knows
whatever
about
it
the
is, but
jumping
it's
out
not
the window.
capitalism. Now there's another therapist equally as
He
excited
knows
to tell
about
our
the
clients
cages.
problems are from capitalism. Well, does that
He
mean
knows
I'm
about
never
the
gonna get over my problems?
netting.
That's exactly what it means. But you're going to get to stay a victim because you can always blame capitalism. I won't feel better. No, you won't feel better. You'll feel kind of significant as a victim, though. So,
Capitalism.
pay at the door, by the way.
If you are somebody that is struggling to find the time to heal, regulate your nervous system, it's
Capitalism.
not your fault.
I disagree with that. It's absolutely your fault. Everything in your life is absolutely
Yes.
your fault. Positives,
Yes, everything
and the
in your
negatives.
life
if
is-
you need to
is
heal,
your
you
own
haven't
making.
made time to
You sh-
heal.
you-
Whose
you
fault
keep-
is that?
you're the
supposed to
one
be,
pointing
lady?
the-
Let us know. Hey, we'll get back to the
the
video in just a
so-called
second,
gun
but
at
first,
your foot,
a lot
and you're
of
the
people
one
are
pulling
confused
it.
and
You're pulling the
frustrated,
trigger.
wondering,
You're the one
how
doing
does
it.
health insurance
You just
really
aim it
work?
straight at your foot, and you're
Step
doing that
one,
yourself.
You pay a lot of money in a monthly premium.
Stop hitting
And the
yourself.
amount
Stop
that
hitting
you
yourself.
pay per
Stop
month
hitting
is
yourself.
based on the expected healthcare needs of the sickest, most diseased population on Earth. Step two, You get sick or injured, need to go to the hospital, doctor, have massive medical bills.
Oh, this is
Step
mad.
3,
Get out of
submit your
here.
claim to your trustworthy insurance company. Step 4, they deny your claim. And yes, you paid your monthly premium so you can have the service of health insurance, but that's just paperwork. So they deny your claim. We're just doing business here, people. Then after many hours of frustrating phone calls with customer service from the insurance company that does not care, we come to step number 5. You may or may not have your claims covered. That's how health insurance works. But if you're looking for something different, look at Crowd Health. It's a member-funded community that covers your medical bills when you're in need for a low monthly fee. And unlike the insurance industry that really looks out for the health of the insurance companies, Crowd Health looks out for your health. Get started today for just $99 per month for your first 3 months using promo code JPReacts at joincrowdhealth.com/JPReacts. Luckily,
No,
Crowd
I
Health
don't
is
want
not
it.
insurance.
Well,
Learn more
thank
at
you.
joincrowdhealth.com/JPReacts. Now back to the video.
System is rigged against us.
Oh, it's the system's fault. It's the system's fault for what
Yes,
I
it's
haven't
always the
done.
system.
I'm
It's always
500
society's
pounds.
fault.
I don't exercise.
It's always
It's not
the
your
I am
fault.
going to
It's the
blame this
system's
person
fault.
because
Golly, I feel
they are to
pretty
blame for
empowered
my
now to
reason
keep
of
things
feeling this way.
exactly the same. Because if it was my fault, that would inherently get me to believe I
Yes,
have the
you are
power
to blame. You
change
make me
this. But
feel
you tell
this
me
way.
It's not my fault, so I'm inherently powerless.
You're a
It's the
terrorist. You
system's
make
fault.
me
As
feel
soon as
this
the
way.
entire country of the United States changes, no longer capitalism.
I want to go
then I
back
can
to my
change.
hometown.
Hi, my name is Carolyn. I'm a certified trauma recovery coach.
Certified trauma
Close.
recovery coach. Sounds like she's a certified keep you traumatized coach.
Since becoming a trauma recovery coach and starting my own healing journey, it's really opened my eyes to see that the system that we currently live in is not built for healing.
Well, no,
It's not built
for
for healing. What
That's
the
what your
fuck?
household is for. That's
Yeah,
your
what?
personal time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's your home feeling comfortable and it's what you're doing right now. Well, I don't know if you're talking and feeling angry. It's hard to say.
The socialist mentality. By the way, she talks like this, so.
Oh
what a
no,
great
please don't do
therapist.
that.
And the social mentality of like, dude, my shoes are untied.
I
Yeah, well,
do
the
it sometimes
system,
and crack a
unfortunately,
joke.
we
I don't
have
want to do
social
it anymore
workers
because
coming
it
to
fucking
houses
hurts
every
my
day to
head.
tie your shoes, so I guess you shouldn't tie your shoes. Or is that
Every
something
time
your
I hear
personal
people do that that shit and or do certain fucking right voices, it's like, oh god, cringe, pain. I want to put a bullet in my head.
responsibility
So
should
annoying
cover.
listening
I
to that
need
shit.
to process my emotions. I need to
Because
heal.
as soon as you
Yeah,
hear
that's meant for you to do. It's not
person
meant for the fire
who
department
sounds
to
like
show
the
up at
most
your house
retarded,
and help you regulate your emotions. Please do it on your own.
start
I highly
doing it, it's like,
recommend
oh,
It's very
fuck.
beneficial. There's also coaches, therapists.
Why are they
within the system
spouting
of
this
capitalism that you
ideology
can
when they
pay
say
to teach you how to do
they
it if you don't know
do
how to do it yourself.
For example, many of us work 8 hours a day.
Any
at
of us
least.
work
Goodness,
out
can you
8 hours a
imagine
day?
having to work full time?
Some of us work more than that
Fuck!
nowadays. We're supposed to
God
go to
damn
work,
it!
take
No,
time
I
out
don't
of the
want to
day,
do
then
it.
come
No, I'm
home,
playing
make
into it like
nutritious
him.
meals, have time to spend with our significant others and our children.
Have
Also have time to clean
Also
the
have
house.
time to clean the house and
ready
get
and do it all
ready
again
and do it
tomorrow.
all
Yeah,
again.
a lot of stuff to do. I relate to that.
It's exhausting and it's really not
Fuck.
sustainable for people.
I
It's
hate
not
it.
sustainable to people to work full time and live their lives. It's not sustainable. What if the government would help us with that, right? All right, cool. Communism, cool. Now you work 12 hours a
Now
day.
you
You
work
come
12
home and you sit there because you have no money to do anything else. Well, I have to clean
Yeah,
my
now
house.
you
Well,
don't get
have
any
cleaning
money from
supplies.
sitting
On
at home
top of nutritious food, we
and
need healthy
cleaning and
relationships.
shitting for
We need
yourself.
Agree.
proper sleep.
I
We
agree.
need self-care.
Everything she's listed, the system doesn't provide you. It cannot provide
Correct.
it for you. Only you can. I think
Correct.
she's like making the argument for my point now.
We need time outdoors. We need
You
nature.
don't. I'm sorry. You do not have some kind of robot machine where it's some kind of government employee robot machine being like, "How can the government service you?" It doesn't work like that. I mean, if you want that to happen, that'll probably be in the future, and that does not sound great. Because that's when Skynet's gonna fucking come and then it's gonna stab you in the fucking heart.
We need movement in our day. How are we going to be able to have the time in the day for that?
Well, it's actually simple math. I'm glad you asked the question. If you work 8 hours a day, 24 minus 8 is 16 hours
Correct.
a day. Divide it up. It's up to you. I like to sleep 8 hours a day when I can. Great. That leaves me 8 more hours. Divide it up however you want.
Lives are currently revolving around.
Yeah, our lives revolve around work because it tends to start first
Yeah,
thing in the
'cause
morning. You could be a night owl and be like, dude.
Well, I mean, kind of have to work too because we need to make money. We we need to survive. We need food, water. What? We need money. What? We need the capital. I mean, yeah. I mean, we could have it like communism, where I mean, they still need money in communism. Like, what? That doesn't even defeat the. You still kind of have capitalism in communism. Just look at Russia and China. They still use the fucking fiat currency. They have their own fiat currency. Like, come on. Yeah. You don't know what you're talking about.
Around, I watch the night show, then I run around the neighborhood in the middle of the night, then I go to work.
Society runs on money.
Like your life isn't revolving around work. Are you getting
or
my
money.
point? Are you wiping up what I'm spilling here? A little self-responsibility goes a hell of a long way.
One of my least favorite things about capitalism is the fact that we are never allowed to rest, grieve, or recover.
What do you see this guy right now talking on the phone? Resting and grieving right now? What the fuck do you mean? Bro, you're brain dead. Go get some help. Stop. Get some help.
Something traumatic or
Oh,
difficult.
we need Michael Jordan up in
You're
here.
never allowed to grieve or rest after something difficult happens. You work 8 hours. What are you doing with other 16 hours of the day? Do you need to rest for 16 hours?
Yeah, it's
If
like,
so,
do you
go
need to
see your
sit there
doctor.
and lay
You
on the
probably have a
cot for
thyroid
16 hours?
condition.
Who
Do
are
you
you,
need to
Xerxes?
grieve for more than 16
What are
hours
you, some
in any
fucking
given day?
retard
If
back
so, I
in
can
like the
understand
Greek
how you
Roman
need time off.
eras
Of
who
course, if a
fucking just
loved
sits
one
on that couch
passes
and have
away,
some
I
women
would
just
want
feed
more
you
time
grapes?
off too, and I would take it because in our capitalist system,
Brother, it
we
doesn't
created
work
a
like
path
that
where, like,
anymore
I work for
nowadays. Unless
myself,
you're gonna
which has me
find
actually
yourself
working more hours than
a
most
good woman
people,
that's gonna
but I
do
would
that
take
for
that
you,
time off for
or a good
myself.
man
But on a
if you
day-to-day
float that
basis,
boat right.
do you need more than 16
Or a
hours a day to
trans if you
grieve?
float that
If you
boat
do,
right.
you
'Cause
probably need a
the
really good therapist
apparently
instead.
trans
Like
people
when we
need love
lose
too.
somebody we really care about, when we go through something really difficult, like a bout with suicidal ideation or a suicidal attempt or whatever, and we survive.
Wait,
how are
what?
we
How did
received?
this
How
get
do
to
we receive
suicide?
ourselves?
What
Like,
is
That would
going
imply
on?
he's gone through suicidal thoughts. And if
What?
that's true, I certainly feel for him. And I could understand, okay, if he's had suicidal thoughts recently or on some frequent basis, he probably doesn't have a sound mind. Someone with a broken
Everyone
mind
has
just
suicidal
goes
thoughts
on
every now.
TikTok and speaks their mind in the form of advice. Dude, if you need help,
Or
don't give
along the
advice.
lines of,
It's
if I
okay.
do this
Any
very
life
horrible act,
situation
looks like
I'm
I'm
in
gonna have to
where I'm
suicide.
in the struggle, I
Oh,
never give advice on that kind of
God,
situation.
sorry.
Just know when to shut up and deal with yourself instead of trying to deal with yourself by giving advice
Nope.
to others.
Are we given time to rest, to recover, to kind of restore ourselves?
Look,
The answer is
people.
no. The answer is so
I'm not
often
gonna
no
go
unless
down
you have
that
like
road.
hella money, because we
Sorry.
have to go to work, because we have to afford our bills, because we have to pay for shit.
I don't want to
Because we
talk
have
about
to
it.
get
This
exploited,
fucker
because
brought
the
it
elite
up.
people in capitalism have to get
I was
their
gonna
money.
say some
No,
real
you
fucked
don't
up
have
shit. I'm gonna
to.
stop
But if
myself
what
before I
he's
do.
saying is, if you want to live like an adult, do you have to go to work? Yeah. What's their alternative? I don't work. Cool. Now you're
I
either
don't
homeless or you would be a good fit for communism. I don't want to go to work.
I'm
Well, okay, the government takes care of you.
what
Not good care of you.
what do they call the unhoused person? I'm one of those unhoused persons. Will you help me?
They sort of keep you alive a little bit. You would rather go to a job in America. And by the way, communism countries, they don't have just like don't work if you don't want to. It's like, no, you're going to do this job. You have to.
Yeah,
what if
you
I
have
don't?
to.
Well, we have a very sound.
And you're gonna get paid little money, and you're gonna get little food to make you survive. You're just gonna get the bare minimum. You're gonna fucking do your job. Fucking do it now.
authoritarian fist that's going to come after you.
Even within mental health, therapists so often are just trying to get us back to a normal life.
Damn them. They're
Oh.
trying to help you get functional. Now we're getting victimized when someone's trying to help me out of my victim behavior. Damn them.
Back to work or get us back to school, but we don't need that shit because we need to rest and we need to restore and we need to rejuvenate.
You need to rejuvenate if
Are
you
you
just
high?
ran an Iron Man.
You sound like
I
you're
don't think this
rejuvenating
dude's
right now
running
as you
Iron
fucking
Mans.
rant
I don't
about your
think he's
weird
out there
shit.
working so hard that he needs to rejuvenate. But
Yeah.
this kind of pattern of thinking
Yeah, he's working
is
real hard.
very
He's
common amongst
he's
Gen
working up a
Zers.
sweat.
And I would dare say at the end of the day, it's been some kind of brainwashing that's affected them. This is nothing more than the woke mind virus. We're in a pandemic. The woke mind virus. It's been going around.
They got the
more
mind worms,
contagious than
just
any
like RFK
pathogen you'll
Jr.
find under a microscope. But if you can see it, you're pretty immune to it. If you
God
can't
damn it,
see
I'm
it,
sorry.
you're very prone to be infected by it if you're not already. Let me know what you think about these Gen Zers and their just tirade against capitalism, blaming their lives, their minds falling apart on the system
Correct.
rather than what they do and don't do for themselves. Look forward to seeing your comments, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video. But until then, stay capitalistic.
Ah, yes. Oh, capitalism. JP reacts. All right. On to the next.